So next question. Special Order 191's role has been way overblown. So Jim, let me start with you. Since you agree with this, tell me your thoughts on Special Order 191.
So many people, including Lee himself after the war, intimate that that is the reason that he didn't succeed in the Maryland campaign, and that it was the scales fall off of McClellan's eyes when he scans that Special Order 191. I think, if you do some real close looking at what McClellan's doing at the moment that arrives in his hands, many of the things that people believe he did as a result of seeing Special Order 191 are already in place. He's pushing the Ninth Corps forward down the road to Middletown. He's got Franklin moving up closer and closer to Harper's Ferry. So I think it's more of a confirmation in McClellan's mind of what Lee may be doing than it is a this is exactly what he's doing. And I didn't have any idea what Lee was doing before I saw this kind of a thing, which I think some people believe is the story of Special Order 191.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it perpetuates this myth of who McClellan was. It's a really good story to show that, hey, this is just a bumbling general that if he didn't have access to 191, he couldn't even have any idea what Lee was doing. I agree with Jim to a certain degree that, I think that McClellan was already stealing the initiative at that moment. Like, I think that he really knew what he was tasked to do. He was moving forward. I do think it's somewhat overblown, but gee, what a great story. I mean, come on, it's just a fantastic story. It gets people thinking and talking about the concepting of orders, and I do think that it probably shaped McClellan in some of his thought process, and it maybe got his butt moving a little more. But I mean, I think some of that's conjecture to a certain degree, but I do think that I agree with Jim. I think that it's been overblown a little bit, and it feeds into that myth of McClellan, and he's just a bumbling leader without it.
And you had an emoji that had no facial expression at all, just two eyes. Like you're the silent man on this. But I gotta
No,
make you.
I was trying to think of something that was just like yes and no or indifferent. I take option C, I guess, but
Okay.
of the thousands of emojis that were offered to me, I couldn't quite find one, so that worked. But I would say, in the case of 191 lost orders, whatever you want to call it, I do think it has been overplayed, certainly, but I think sometimes recently it's been overplayed to the point where it's now viewed as it didn't make any difference at all to the campaign. I don't think that's true either. Firstly, it's certainly not something unique. Within a month of 191 being found, so from mid-August to mid-September, there were 5 separate instances of an opposing army's orders coming into the hands of the enemy. That said, though, I do think 191 does provide some clarity to George McClellan. So as McClellan is moving his army out from Washington toward Frederick, he is aware before the orders come into his hands on the early afternoon of September 13th that Lee's army has left Frederick, but he's mostly confused by what that means because his scouts are reporting to him that that Lee's army is moving both toward Harper's Ferry, which would indicate he's moving south, and he's moving toward Hagerstown and Williamsport, which would indicate that the Confederate Army is moving north. And McClellan had a very hard time trying to figure out why that was or what that meant exactly. What was Lee's intent? So 191, he had the what. He knew where Lee's army was and what it was up to. He did not know why, and 191 gave him the why.
Very good. I'm liking these answers. It's a good discussion. You guys are doing. I feel like you guys got together with the questions ahead of time, like someone stole them from me, and you guys all conferred and came up with the answers.